This is Studio 809.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Outdoors with Hiking Bob podcast. I am your host, Hiking Bob Falcone. You can find me on my website at hikingbob.com, which has links to my social media, my columns at the Pikes Peak Bulletin, my other podcasts, my photography website. You can also sign up for my newsletter and get that every week. And also there's a link there where you can send me an email. If you have a question or a comment or a suggestion for a topic or a guest you'd like to hear, you can do all of that at hikingbob.com. Today, we're starting off with a series of podcasts for the 2025 Give Pikes Peak campaign. And as regular listeners know, every year I get a few of the groups from usually the Great Outdoors category to come on here and talk about their organization and their participation in the Give campaign and why you should give to them. And I usually try to mix it up with groups I've had before and groups I haven't had before. And this year it's a group I have not had before, and it is the Women's Mountain Biking Association, WMBA, and I have with me Nikki Amadei, who is with that organization. Nikki, thanks for being on the podcast.
Great to talk to you today, Bob. Thanks for having us on.
Well, this should be a lot of fun because I've heard of your organization. Obviously, you guys have been around a little bit. We'll get into that in a second here, but I've never had you on the podcast. I'm not sure why that is, but we're going to remedy that today by having you on here and talk about WMBA. So let's start off with the basics. What is the Women's Mountain Biking Association?
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So Women's Mountain Biking Association is a nonprofit organization here in Colorado Springs, where we have a lot of local women mountain bikers who join as members. And we, I think, are most known through the community as our group rides that we host throughout the summer months. So each summer, you can see us out on various trails across town, enjoying the amazing trails we have very close to our homes on Thursday nights.
You're a nonprofit, and you have this great organization. You bring women out, get them on mountain bikes, and I see more and more women out there on mountain bikes, which is awesome to see as I'm out there hiking. So how many members do you have?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So I should have given a little more history and the background. Like WMBA has been going on since 2009. The original founding group was 4 members who just wanted to create a space where women could ride together rather than like with partners or try to go out and ride by themselves in mostly a male-dominated field. That first season, they got up to about 40 members. This year, we have about over 300 paying members.
Wow. That's a pretty good, impressive number. That's a good number for any of the nonprofits we see here in Colorado Springs. So having 300 members is pretty good.
Yeah, we're really proud to be able to have the numbers that we do have, and it really just goes to show 2 things in our community. One, the need for more women-friendly spaces where they feel empowered and feel like they can grow in a skill that is so fun. I've been mountain biking now for 14 years, and I would consider it part of my identity at this point because I love it so much and it has become such a big part of who I am and my social community and the community that I've built for myself. So really excited to be able to develop that space for women to be able to ride together, to develop their skills, develop confidence out there. And then, like I said, we are so lucky to live in an area that we do with just so many local hubs that are from anyone here in town. You have a trail that is well maintained and is great to go visit, whether you're a hiker or a mountain biker. That's easily within 20 minutes of anybody's home within the city.
We are blessed with having a large, robust mountain biking community along with a hiking community and street cycling community. I mean, Colorado Springs being such an outdoor hub of activity. It's why a lot of people, even if they didn't move here for that reason, it's why they end up staying here for that reason. And then organizations like yourself that make particularly women feel definitely included in that sport. As a nonprofit, besides hosting these rides and bringing women together, you have 300 members, which is just awesome. Yeah. What else do you guys do? What other things do you do in the community? Do you projects, or what other things do you do in the community?
Wait, people do things other than mountain bike? Oh, okay. No, we are really excited. I would say like over the past couple years, like we've had like a really energetic board of directors, and I am like lucky enough to be a member of that group of leaders right now who want to just like build one like advocacy for the sport in the community, build that space for women. And so we do host those rides. We also, because each of those rides, the way that we have it set up is women can sign up to ride on Thursdays. You sign up for a particular skill, whether it's a beginner ride, intermediate, advanced, or something in between. Earlier in the year, we also have like never evers where we will start to do a lot of like basic how to ride your bike, how to approach different things on the trail. But with that means that we also have to have leaders out like managing these rides to make sure like they have developed the route. We're keeping our riders safe. So there is the season, there is preparation for the season. So getting we call them ride guides, like our volunteer leaders who lead these rides. We provide opportunities for them to learn how to develop bike skills for the women that ride with us, because that's a different skill set in its own. Like riding your bike is one skill. Teaching people how to do something you already know how to do is another skill. And then leading and safely managing a group of 15 people in a group, because that's our normal like group size that will go out on ride a course together. We don't have 300 women marching up a hill on their bikes like ants going out every day. But we do split up into groups. We do it like levels. So we do have leadership development for writing those guides. We also work with a couple local mountain biking coaches to provide like skills clinics. We go out into the community and like we do join a lot of like affiliated volunteer events. Like this year, just a couple weeks ago, we did join RIMFI to go and do some much needed trail repair over in Stratton Open Space. We go and like attend a bunch of different like events just to get out there. And while people are out in the community walking around an event or they see us out there, like we get to spread the word, and like we see women out there and they will look over and we get to start to talk to them about our group, and they might not know about us. So then we're able to make more connections and like just let people know that there is a safe and empowering space for women to get out on the trails with other women on the bikes. And that's like easily some of the most fun that you can, we tease that we can say that's the most fun you'll have on a Thursday night. But every single time, like there's the biggest ear-to-ear smiles coming down off the trails back to our cars on Thursday evenings.
Great. So you're working out there with like REMFI. We're going to have them feature as one of the organizations for the Give on on the podcast coming up.
Yeah.
Great bunch of people there also. So you guys are out there, you're doing trail work. It sounds like you just hook up with other groups too that are already have the trail work set up. Because it's besides all the stuff you're doing with getting women out there and teaching skills, setting up a trail work day can be. Yeah, I've done that. It's a lot of work. So it's good that you're hooking up with the other groups that are already doing it, which I think that's pretty cool.
Like, and you know just as much as I do, there's like definitely rules out there and like guidance that you want from from land managers and different groups to provide tools, project vision, etc. So yeah, that is like one aspect that our like board has wanted to do is like more community outreach this year. Other things we do is like we work to provide, because you know just as I do, as soon as you start to get into an outdoor sport, it becomes rather costly. And so we want to work to remove a lot of those barriers for our women as well. So like how can we provide the ride, but then if there are women who are coming across barriers to being able to like go and ride your bike or purchase all of the things that need to come along with the hobby, how can we remove some of those barriers as well?
Awesome. When you do your rides, you said you do them on Thursday nights. Do you do them? Will you have like one Thursday night might be this is the easy ride for newcomers, and the next one might be we're going to go a little bit more off trail? Do you have a day when you do like the really gnarly black diamond downhill, like I'm thinking the Chutes Trail, for example.
Oh, yeah.
Not one for beginners, but do you kind of have different trails for different nights for different skill levels and stuff like that?
So we actually try to provide a ride for every skill level every Thursday.
Okay.
And just so that we do not overwhelm a trail and overwhelm the experience of like hikers, equestrians, other mountain bikers, etc. We do have a calendar where we work to spread out our rides. So we usually have like our intermediate group will meet over at this trail on this Thursday. But on that same Thursday, we might have a beginner group meeting at a different trailhead or an advanced going to a different group as well. So we work to offer something for everybody every Thursday, no matter what type of a rider you are.
Which sounds like it's a whole lot better. I was thinking in my mind, like the first Thursday is going to be an easy one. The next Thursday is going to be a hard one, but you don't have to wait a month for the easy one to come around. You got to have one every week. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And I'm sorry.
And that's like something that we really like, something that the success of our organization is so reliant upon is those ride guide leaders that I mentioned earlier. Like without them and without the number of women who are willing to step up as leaders and support other women getting out on the trails, without them, like we would not be able to organize these like 8 or 9 groups that ultimately end up going out there at various skill levels.
Gotcha. Do you guys do these rides all year round? Are you out there in the dead of winter doing these rides, or is it kind of more of a spring, summer, fall kind of a thing? I know there's some really crazy cyclists out there who have like studded tires and stuff like that on their bikes, and I'm just looking at that going, I don't know if I'm going to get on a bike doing that, but my skill level on biking is not nearly as much as it is hiking. Do you do it all year round, or you're pretty much a 3-season kind of a thing?
We are pretty much like I think our season kicks off end of May and goes through August for the formal season. And then through the end of the season, we do a lot of like social rides. But what we're trying to, that has ultimately ended up being the sweet spot for the WIMBA season because then it's like summer. It's easier for women who are like working and are managing a family. The weather's nicer. The sun is up later after working hours. We went on a costume ride last night, actually, and I think my toes were pretty cold by the end of the night. And we took our lights out, and it was a great time. But we have some women who can, most of the bulk of our commitment, both as riders and then volunteer ride guide leaders, the easiest and the best window is going to be those summer months.
Right.
But yeah, we usually run our season, I would say, is about 16 weeks long from like the initial kickoff until we're closing out our social rides in the fall.
Which makes sense if for nothing else. And you kind of mentioned the hours of daylight you have, so you're not out there in the dark. You can have all the headlights you want and everything, but there's still things you're not going to see in the shadows and stuff that you can end up having an issue with. Same thing with hiking. You can hike at night, but you have to be more careful. And when you're leading a group, I'm sure that's even more of a complication. So I was curious about that. Do you do any other kind of events during the off season when you're not out cycling, or do you do like workshops or anything like that for your members during the off season?
We do a couple different various workshops. One of the nice things about joining WIMBA is you'll get to meet other like-minded riders. So if you are someone who wants to ride the fat bike with the studded tires, you might meet a friend who's also up for that type 2 fun, like during the summer. So then you guys can start talking about your winter rides. We also have women who are part of our WIMBA race team. So you can join and you can commit to being a racer as part of our group. And those women will also get together to train in the off season to prepare as well. We've held a couple different workshops. We've partnered with a couple different bike shops on clinics about bike maintenance. And then one of our members and sponsors is a nutritionist. So she has joined and has provided a workshop for just how do we eat before our ride, during our ride, after our ride, on days when we are riding have a big mountain bike ride versus how I eat in general if I'm training for something versus if I'm just a casual rider. So do try to funnel a lot of those learning opportunities for our members. We encourage and try to provide opportunities for first aid and CPR, both for should something unfortunate happen while you're on a Wumba ride, but also like you want to be prepared and feel empowered to go on a long ride, say on like the Monarch Crest or like the Pikes Peak Plummet. So then you can respond to all these other options too, because the whole goal is like, how can we build up the confidence in our riders to go out and do more and try more things outside of what was formerly their comfort zone.
Cool. You mentioned the Monarch Crest. I was going to ask you about that. I've actually hiked part of that. So you do stuff not just in the immediate Colorado Springs area.
We do have, like, so we wouldn't host a Wumba ride over at Monarch Crest Trail, but like we do create and have Facebook pages where women can like get together and organize some of those rides. And I think like a lot of our members have developed like lifelong friendships through Wumba and have gone on a lot of these bike adventures, whether it's within an hour of town, 2 hours of town, internationally,
right,
etc.
So besides doing the rides yourself, hosting the rides yourself, you're giving your members and women the opportunity to also get together amongst themselves and with the skills and the networking to go out there and actually organize their own rides.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. I think that's great. So the question comes up, this is the Give campaign. People are being asked to donate, and the community is always wonderful with their support of the various nonprofits that have made it through the screening process to get to this point. You guys obviously have made it through the screening process. You show that you're responsible and you're going to provide something to the community. What would be the goals that you're going to tell the potential donors who are listening to this? What is it you're going to do with the funds that you're going to raise with the Give campaign? How does it support your organization?
Yes, definitely. So I'm glad you asked. Like I touched on a couple of these like things a little bit for what it means to like make Wumba successful and our members be able to like live out the mission that we have for our organization. One of the things that is paramount to Wumba's success is our ride guides and our leaders. So we want to make sure that we are providing opportunities to develop leadership skills. So that might be through various trainings, various like workshops that we can get that we can either bring in or allow our members to attend. A lot of times those are not free. And another thing we want to do is really like focus on our outreach to more women who hear about Wumba and they're like, that would be great. And if there is any type of like financial barrier to being able to go out and ride safely, or I mean, like when you start, the bike itself is an investment, and then you start to think like helmet and shoes and gloves and backpack and nutrition and first aid and all of those things, like that it becomes further out of reach for many people in our community, and we don't want that to be a barrier to being able to build a community around something that you love. Because like I said, like most of my social life right now is with fellow mountain bikers. And if the barrier is like being able to go and do some of these things confidently and safely, then those women are not like, can like being a part of that community that has meant so much to so many of us becomes just further out of reach. So our hope is to be able to financially support, like be able to like increase our outreach and financially like meet some of those barriers for our women, whether that is like sponsoring membership dues, sponsoring their ability to participate in a clinic, sponsoring them to be able to like purchase some of these like startup necessities to be able to mountain bike.
And mountain biking can be a little, like you mentioned, kind of costly to get into. Hiking is a pair of boots and a backpack, pretty inexpensive stuff. But cycling, you need a bike, and there are less expensive bikes and more expensive bikes. And if it's anything like a lot of my hobbies, you can start off with the less expensive stuff, but next thing you know, well, I want that next level up and kind of work your way up there. But you're able to, hopefully, part of the goal of the campaign is that you're going to be able to help support women who want to get into it and may not be able to initially be able to get into it.
Yes. Yeah. And we always say like the best bike for you is the bike you have. Right. It's not like, I mean, there are price tags out there on bikes that make your eyes water, but like the bike you have, like if you take good care of it, and then you're able to like support and supplement, like being able to maintain it properly, accessories that are going to keep you safe. Like that just makes that experience just so much better.
Right. And with the leadership in WIMBA and the board of directors, everybody there is a volunteer, unpaid. They're all volunteering their time. Every
single person. Yeah. And especially like I would say, I did the math at the beginning of the season. It's like astronomical numbers of volunteer hours. I should have calculated before we hopped on the call.
No worries.
I would say even we have a board of directors of 6 women right now, and each of us spends easily 5 hours a week, like on WIMBA during the season. And then this is considered off season for WIMBA, but even like our board of directors are working to like plan out a season, communicate with community members. Like we have local sponsors that we work with. There's a lot of things that we need to do to start like gearing up for the season. So even though we aren't holding Thursday rides, our board is still working to do some volunteering to like plan and improve the experience for our women year after year. And then, like I said, every single group that goes out on a Thursday night ride has 3 volunteers. Those 3 volunteers, you're going to have to listen to me do some in real-time math. I won't be too terrible at it, I promise, Bob. But each group has 3 volunteers. Each ride is about 2 hours long, but the volunteer is there for about 2.5 hours. So that's 7.5 hours of like volunteer time per group. And then each ride, because we have like 2 different sections, you'll probably have 5 to 6 groups that go off and ride there. So you're going to do the 5. That's where my math is going to stop right now, Bob, is the 7.5 times 5 groups, 37.5 hours, times 2. So you're looking at like, here's my math again, apologies, 65 hours, 75 hours per Thursday of volunteer women hours that are going into making Thursdays happen. Then there's like 12 rides a season plus our social rides.
Right.
My multiplication is going to stop there. But as you can see, like one of the things that we do with a lot of our membership dues is try to really, and if you've ever worked with volunteers, it's like, how can I show gratitude and appreciation for the people who are putting in their time and effort to like make the organization successful. So a lot of time, like it's a lot of like, what can we do to like supplement our ride guide leaders with like the skills, like a first aid kit, just like materials to make the ride happen. And then just like thank yous throughout the season.
Your math on the fly is a whole lot better than mine, so I'll give you credit for that.
It's going to stop there. I won't butcher it anymore.
Regardless of that, it's a whole lot of time your volunteers are putting in to help women get out there on the trails, and regardless of their skill level, which I think is really awesome. You know, you have a beginning cyclist, you can have one who's like, I want to do that really gnarly, whatever that is, downhill, you know, I want to do that trail and I want to do something easy. And I'm really impressed that you're able to, on any given Thursday, have something for everybody. That there's going to be the easy ride and the harder ride and the in-between ride and maybe something more social. And you talked about social ride, but I imagine some of your rides are probably just people who want to get together and chat while they're riding around, and they maybe don't want to do anything too tough.
Yeah, we will have something for everyone. And it's pretty, like we have some members who joined us even just a few short years ago, like with their first mountain bike, and maybe some of them joined of their own volition to just go meet people, and like had moved from out of state. Some of them, like they mountain bike with their partner and their partner encouraged them, or they want to go meet other women to go ride with. And we've seen women go from like 1 year, they're riding our never ever and beginner rides to like just a couple of years later, they're riding like our in between intermediate, advanced, and even advanced rides, because they see another like woman as a role model who's like guiding them on how to do something, how to approach a ride. And we see it as like, she can do it. I want to try it. I bet I can do it too, which is like, as a ride guide, that's worth any amount of time I can give on any number of Thursdays, is just like seeing that confidence and that courage that women are taking to go and try something new and challenge themselves. And then they are gaining an appreciation for a sport that they otherwise wouldn't have gained. They are gaining appreciation for our local trails in a way that they never would have. And so we're thinking about like, not only are we building confidence in our riders, we are building advocacy for these amazing local trails that we have, building advocacy for women in a sport that is still primarily male dominated, even though if you were out on a trail on a Thursday, you would feel like it is a woman dominated sport because we are out there in numbers. But yeah, it's a wonderful experience, both for our members and for our volunteers. And if everybody is coming down with a smile and like high-fiving and can't wait until the next Thursday, like that is what it's all about.
I really do appreciate that you're taking away the confidence barrier that people might have. Because when you're out there and you're riding by yourself, and you don't have anybody there to guide you or support you or teach you, you could build this confidence barrier. Like, I don't know if I can do that, so I'm not going to do that. But if you have somebody out there that says, no, you can do this, well, I'll show you how. And maybe you have to work up the things. You just can't jump into stuff. But it's good that you're taking away that confidence barrier that some of your riders might have and getting them to do stuff.
I have it myself. I still do.
Right.
But yeah, like being able to watch other women do something and like they're there to cheer you on. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been mountain biking with people who are a lot better than you, but like there is an experience that some people might have where they ride ahead of you. They don't wait. Like they might wait for you at a trail intersection. They don't stop at any like obstacles to like cheer you on or like show you an approach. It's just like, I'll meet you on the other side. Did you make it? Great. No. Okay. Who cares? Let's keep going. Like we stop at our obstacles. We show people how to do it. We let them try it a couple times. If there's a lot of exposure, like women will literally get off of their bikes and like be there as like to help, like just in case there is a like rock ledge you want to ride over, we're there to help you just in case to like release this barrier of, oh my God, I might fall. Or if they do fall, like a lot of risk reduction. So it's so exciting to watch.
That's awesome. Is WIMBA part of a bigger organization, or are you just a self-contained? I don't know if you're like a chapter of another organization, or are you just
self-contained?
Self-contained. Okay.
Yes.
And you mentioned dues. How much are the dues per year for somebody who wants to join?
$65.
$65. You guys are doing great stuff. I really like what you have to say about your mission and getting people out there and doing it a safe way and teaching everything you've mentioned here is just awesome. I'm so glad that you're in to give. I'm glad that you're here to talk about it today. Do you have anything else you want to tell us about WIMBA that maybe I forgot to ask you about?
We are a volunteer-led organization where women are taking time out of their home, their family, they're planning their weeks around going to like lead other women around these trails. And like, we couldn't do it without our volunteers, but we also couldn't do it without, like, I will keep saying, look at where we live. Like, how great of a place to like have out, like, this is the outdoor enthusiasts like haven of trails, like beautiful scenery. Like we have organizations out there that partner with the city, with the county to just make sure that our trails are like well maintained no matter what Mother Nature throws at us. But like without the volunteers and without living in a community that advocates for just such a strong trail network, like WIMBA wouldn't be as successful as it is. We like without our volunteers, we'd be nothing. If we had trails that weren't as great, like people wouldn't be as excited to get out there and learn how to like enjoy our trails more and then become more like better outdoor trail advocates and trail stewards and just be more deeper rooted in our community and like just grow what is possible here in Colorado Springs when it comes to enjoying the outdoors.
So if anybody has any questions, and I forgot to ask you or anything, what's the best way they can find you on your website, or where can they find more information, send you more information, or ask for more information from you?
Yes, definitely. So we have a general Facebook page that people can always like go and join and look and see what's going on. So that's the Women's Mountain Biking Association of Colorado Springs. And then our website is www.wmbacos.org. There's a lot of information there. Like we have a donation link, but also like don't donate there because then it doesn't count towards Give Pikes Peak.
Yeah.
But I'm just really excited to get our name out there more, because even though like we are out on our trails and our numbers are big, like we want people to just be more aware of like the opportunities that women have in the sport and then within our community.
Absolutely. So if anybody wants to give, go to givepikespeak.org, donate through that so they get credit for that. And I'm sure there's always all kinds of challenges and matching grants that are out there. So give through givepikespeak.org for the next couple of months. After that, you can go directly and become a member or donate to WIMBA. Nikki, thank you so much for being on the podcast. I really like the work you're doing out there and getting people out there safely, and you're working with the other groups to work on trails and things like that. Really a lot of good work you're doing. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Bob. It was so great to talk today, and I'm really excited for this upcoming Pikes Peak Give campaign for sure.
Well, everybody, that's Nikki Amadei from the Women's Mountain Biking Association of Colorado Springs, and go to givepikespeak.org, donate there, and support these groups. Thanks so much for listening to the Outdoors Hiking Bob podcast. We'll talk to you next time.